Witness the dramatic shift that transformed the game market. Recent AAA releases, marred by sloppiness, left players longing for something extraordinary. In this perfect storm, a powerful wave of indie games emerged, triggering an unprecedented boom. Aspiring developers seized this golden opportunity to pour their hearts and souls into creating unique gaming experiences. But be warned, for the path to success is treacherous, and only the select few will rise above the rest, their creations shining like beacons in the vast sea of failed attempts. The world of indie game development is often romanticized as a realm of endless creativity and freedom. Yet the harsh reality for many indie developers is far from the romantic image portrayed. Behind the scenes, indie game developers face many challenges that can make their journey unforgiving. Challenges you have as an indie game developer are the financial aspect of games. Indie developers often lack financial backing and resources, which is necessary to bring your vision to life. You'll often rely on personal savings, crowdfunding, or small grants to fund your projects. Limited budgets will force you to wear multiple hats and take on various roles, from coding to marketing, further stretching your already limited resources. Larger studios have specialists for everything, from programmers that deal with only physics to designers focusing only on the economy. Let's also not forget that they have full marketing teams who strategically select the best dates to release exclusive content, while you will have to handle pretty much everything on your own. Even if you're the best programmer or designer, nobody is an expert at everything. This will eventually hurt your project in one way or another. The sooner you realize it, the better. Time is a precious currency in the indie game development world. With limited resources and manpower, you'll find yourself juggling many responsibilities. You must balance coding, artwork, sound design, level design, marketing, and more, all while working against tight deadlines. Indie devs might fall into overscoping. This is when creators constantly add new mechanics and content. By doing this, you'll unintentionally shoot yourself in the foot, as it will only make your game more complex for your players, but harder for you to develop and test. You must have heard the design quote, "Less is more." It is one of the best pieces of advice for indies. Unfortunately, few people follow it. You have to realize that indie games shine with their simplicity and creativity, while AAA companies might add hundreds of playable characters and abilities. This is simply not possible for smaller studios. First of all, because it takes money to develop something of that scale. Second of all, because it's really hard to balance. Your game should focus on a few simple mechanics that are perfected and polished. If you find yourself adding more and more to your game, you might consider following the design by subtraction. Think of what your game is about, find its core gameplay, and remove every feature that doesn't complement it. Otherwise, you will not reach your deadlines. It will also be hard to give your players a pleasant experience. This is exactly what Team Ico did in Shadow of the Colossus. Early in development, the game featured a lot more areas and low difficulty enemies. Eventually, they removed all that because it took away from the experience. Then they focused entirely on creating memorable and suspenseful boss encounters. Design by subtraction will save long hours and sleepless nights, which will eventually lead you to burnout. On that note, crunch culture still exists in indie development, and it could be even harsher than AAA studios. Compared to large projects, indie games are created by smaller groups of people. That's why they have to take on many roles and tasks, which often increases their work hours. Devs are usually underpaid and wait for the large paycheck after the game releases. Studios, which will have deals with publishers, must reach their milestone deadline every month. If they don't, they might not get paid, or worse, breach the publishing contract. When we take all of that into account, indie development isn't only physically demanding, but also becomes emotionally draining. The constant pressure to succeed, financial worries, and the fear of failure can take a toll on mental well-being. The passion that fueled the developers' aspirations can die over time. Many go into games because they want to bring their passion project to life. While this has been successful in the past, if you look at Stardew Valley and Undertale, these games were done by solo devs, but realistically, you will most likely need a team. If you're in a fortunate position, you may be going into this with a group of friends or colleagues. This will help due to everyone having the same motivations to build a great game. If you're by yourself, then you're needing a team. You'll need to offer incentives to your team members with shared ownership or money. One of the most popular means of funding your game is to strike a deal with a publisher. Yet, not all deals are in favour of the developers. Unfair deals with publishers and the loss of intellectual property ownership are possible obstacles you might face. These challenges can suppress creative control, limit financial returns, and endanger the ownership of your ideas. Of course, nowadays this is rare, but you need to remember that publishers are investing thousands, if not millions of dollars in your project. This is a major risk for them too, and they want to protect their investment. So, don't do anything to breach your contract with them. Be on the lookout if they're breaching their contract too, because in these cases, you'll have the upper hand. If you want, you can try to self-publish, but that will require a lot of time and you might lose some of the marketing benefits a publisher can offer. Building an audience and retaining it requires a lot of knowledge. Knowledge that needs to be backed up by constant work to reassure the fans. The indie game market has become incredibly saturated in recent years. With the accessibility of game development tools and platforms, more and more individuals are trying their luck in this field, which led to a flood of new games competing for players' attention. Thousands of games are released on Steam every single day. You need to make sure that you deliver a better project than the rest. Your game could implement more creative mechanics or an intriguing story and characters. Just make sure you're designing your game with the player's experience in mind. Focus on delivering a polished product without bugs and performance issues. Creating a solid marketing campaign so that the players can find your game. All this hard work will put your game above the rest. The financial instability of indie game development can weigh heavily on developers. Even if your game is well received, success does not always translate into financial stability. The revenue generated from game sales may not be enough to cover development costs, let alone secure the funding for the next project. Eventually, this could leave you in a dangerous financial situation. The instability can slow your work on projects and force you to seek alternative sources of income. Sustaining a career as an indie game dev is an ongoing challenge. Many indie developers struggle to generate enough income from their games to support themselves. It's difficult to maintain a stable income and call games a sustainable business model. Due to the unpredictable nature of sales, combined with the constant need to work on new projects, many devs live on the edge of poverty, investing their time and money into their projects, hoping one day the investment will pay off and save them. This financial uncertainty can create a constant state of stress and insecurity for indie developers. Indie games lack large design and programming departments. They also neglect the importance of quality assurance. Indies often release projects with bad structure and gameplay-breaking problems, all because of limited resources and time. Bugs, glitches, and performance issues can tarnish the player experience and harm the reputation of the studio. To tackle that issue, many studios require their team to playtest the game for at least an hour every day. Supergiant Games, the studio behind the instant hit title Hades, achieved all their success without a dedicated QA team. When all your developers play the game, they will not only find issues, but they'll also find inconsistencies. This will also help emphasize the vision of the game, so each team member knows exactly what they're working towards, resulting in a polished, high-quality experience. If you're looking to embark on the exhilarating journey of indie game development, be warned, challenges are lurking around every corner. At the core of these trials lies the perennial quest for funding, the lifeblood that fuels progress. Devoted developers find themselves caught in a relentless pursuit, sacrificing personal well-being in their tireless efforts to bring their creations to life. The weight of financial burdens cast a shadow over their endeavors, straining their ability to manage resources, plans, and teams. Yet, amidst the tumultuous landscape, a silver lining emerges. Technological advancements have paved the way for accessible tools that empower developers to craft expansive games without the need for AAA-sized teams. For the dedicated and discerning, a promising opportunity awaits, forging partnerships with publishing companies. Such alliances can alleviate the burdens that weigh heavily on their shoulders, offering respite in the realms of marketing and finances. With the right collaboration, the stage is set for their creators to shine brighter than ever before, captivating audiences far and wide. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy our next one. YouTube has selected it specifically for you. I hope you enjoy.